With over 1 million apps out there, not every one of them is worth your time or your money. But let's find out where excellence lies. What do we catch, and what do we release when we go hunting with an app trap? Hey everybody, Macktion here, and I have Final Fantasy Tactics: The War of the Lions recently released for Android. Now this is a port of the iOS version from 2011, that's right, 4 years in the making, which in turn was a port of the PSP version from 2007. Nice of Square Enix to only take 4 years to realize that the other 60% of the mobile OS market, that is, Android devices, was interested in this game as well. I was not very hopeful going into this in light of Square Enix's bad history of not properly scaling their ports. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, check out the Final Fantasy 1 review that I did. I must say that this one far exceeded my expectations. $14 well spent. And I'll tell you why. Final Fantasy Tactics is quite possibly the greatest narrative in gaming. Did you like Game of Thrones? Well then, prepare to love Final Fantasy Tactics. For those of you who are already fans of Tactics, I suggest voicing your support in the comments. Final Fantasy Tactics opens with a scholar attempting to reconstruct the past social upheaval in the land of Ivalice. His quest is to uncover the history from the only recently documented historical figure known as Ramza Beowulf, or it could be whoever you name him as, but Beowulf's the last name, because that's the main character. Among the first words are, "There is no official record of his role," and "This forgotten young man is the true hero." At the very beginning of the game, you are painted a portrait of war and intrigue, and that maintains throughout the entirety of the game. Unlike many games where you are the savior of the world, and you triumph over all challenges, in this game, you are much more like a small cog in a very large machine. You can attempt to stop the machine and pay the price. Now, this is consistent throughout the narrative, and it's what makes the game so absolutely charming. Before George R.R. Martin was treating us to well-rounded characters that we loved only to kill them off, Tactics was breaking that ground. This game absolutely must be played for the fantastic story. It is filled with complex and actually genuine-feeling human motivation. Now, it was relocalized to have an archaic English feel to it, and some people don't like that, but I feel it serves to heighten the immersion of the narrative. One thing that absolutely must be said about this game is that it can get very grindy. Well, will get very grindy. You will absolutely need to put some serious hours into this game so that you can enjoy all the different classes and abilities that are available. Final Fantasy Tactics, in practice, is much like a game of chess, times 50. Class stats and abilities with unique counter abilities and magic make this game very deep on a mechanical level, which goes very well with its deep story. Although battles of 20 minutes are more typical, I have spent over an hour in one battle, because there are so many tactical considerations to make. Every character has options for moving and acting with all of the abilities and magic at your disposal, and sometimes the goal is to protect someone. Other times, most of the time, it's to defeat all the enemies, and at least once, it's to, strangely enough, open a dam. But every time it is incredibly fun. The scaling was done properly, and the touch controls are fairly intuitive with some extra buttons to help you out just in case you prefer to use those instead. No game is without its issues, and for Tactics, the first one that comes to mind is the license check. It requires a new check every time the application is started, so sadly, if you're going to be out of, coverage area, that could present some issues. Additionally, the gameplay is going to be slower than with a controller, and there's not controller support currently. And Square Enix does not have a good record of updating their games, so I'm planning that what I got earlier this week to be exactly what it will be like forever. The game will set you back $14, but even with its issues, it was worth every penny to me. And if you want a game that you can easily sink hundreds of hours into, then it is for you as well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed, and if you have, a comment or a like goes a long way. Clicking on any of the videos will take you to a corresponding playlist for conventions, reviews, tutorials, and even Android games. And be sure to be subscribed so that you will be notified of new videos as they come out. Thanks again, and I'll see you around.